What's up, everybody? This is Dorian here, and I'm here to talk to you about the Pacquiao versus Bradley fight that happened last night. And me and a buddy of mine watched it at Hooters, and so it was one of the biggest upsets. Well, not an upset, but a disgrace to boxing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it was just pitiful. It was ridiculous. It was I mean, I don't know what the judges were watching. I mean, how can you give what they give seven rounds to 5 for Bradley, 2 judges and a split decision? No, I had it scored, and this is being generous, 8 rounds to 4 Pacquiao. I gave Tim Bradley. You could have gave him the first round. You could have gave Bradley the 9th round, and you could have gave Bradley the 10th and 12th round. You could have gave him all those rounds. Bradley, I give him a lot of credit. I thought I had it. My pre-fight fight guess was that Bradley was going to get knocked out in the 6th round. That was me, because he's not experienced enough to fight anybody like Pacquiao. Obviously, you could see it in the fight. He wasn't ready for his speed. He definitely couldn't handle Pacquiao's power. Pacquiao was landing that straight left hand all night long. But Bradley had good heart, and he kept fighting, and I gave him credit for that. And he got a lot of respect from me from that until the post-fight, when he's talking, oh, well, I fought well, and there was a lot of close rounds, and it could have went either way, and this and that. Like, no, that fight wasn't close, and any unbiased boxing fan knows it wasn't close at all. That fight was rigged, and I should have known something was up when he was showing the Pacquiao versus Bradley 2. He gave his family tickets to Pacquiao Bradley 2 earlier this week, and with the date, they already had the date, November 10th, set already, is already locked in. So I should have known something was up, and so this is why, like Teddy Atlas said, this is why boxing loses its luster, because of decisions like this, and it just pushes the fan base that they do have and new fan base away. You can't keep your fans if you're going to keep screwing people over. It's just not going to happen. And so I just wish boxing would realize that, but they don't. And so, I mean, me and my buddy last night, we were in shock. I've never been so upset over something. And people don't realize that when you have a passion about something like boxing and you want the sport to do good, you want the sport to come back, but when they make a mistake like this, when they do such a disgrace to the sport like this, it makes me a huge boxing fan, and I've been watching boxing since I was a kid. It just makes me not even want to watch it anymore, because this was just such a big disgrace, and you can't help but wonder what makes Bradley think he won that fight, and what, you can look at his face, around the 8th through 12th, through the final 4 rounds, Bradley was just, he just looked drained, he looked defeated, you could tell he was beat, and he had no answer for Pacquiao at all, and so I thought this fight was rigged, and it's been rigged from the start, and I hate to say it, but it is. It's just rigged. They're just trying to get more money out of Pacquiao. It's obvious. And so, I mean, it was just a disgrace. And for Tim Bradley, I mean, because when I was telling my buddy when I watched the fight, it looked like Pacquiao was carrying him. I said, man, Pacquiao could have got him out of there in the fourth round. He could have got him out of there in the 5th round, but Pacquiao wasn't. What made the fight too close was that Pacquiao wouldn't fight for the first 1:30 in the round. So, he wouldn't fight. Pacquiao's cruising, just moving, bobbing and weaving, moving. He wasn't throwing no punches. Bradley was controlling the pace some rounds. Bradley was controlling the pace with the jab. He slowed it down a little bit. But then Pacquiao, around the last minute, 15 or so, here comes Pacquiao. Pacquiao's rallying. Bam! Pacquiao's rallying. Bam! I was like, oh, man, this fight's not even close. Bradley didn't land hardly any clean shots. And then if you look at the CompuBox numbers, come on, Bradley didn't land nowhere near. Well, I think it was 109 to 190 on power shots. That's not even close. Like, I mean, come on. Like, what were the judges watching? I mean, I don't get this. And this is why UFC MMA, any kind of, that's why their sport's starting to thrive, is because boxing, we don't have a heavyweight, the heavyweight division is trash. I don't care what anybody says, no one's interested in the heavyweight division. Not because they're not American, it's just that they're not exciting fighters. I'm not biased against anybody who's not American or anything like that. Boxing it's like soccer. It's worldwide, international sport. I respect all these fighters, but the heavyweights are just not exciting. And then you got the crookedness, and the travesties that happen like this, and this is not unusual in boxing. It's a very dirty, rigged sport, and it's all about money nowadays. So, and that pushes our fan base away, and it's slightly, starting to push me away from boxing, because it makes me not even want to watch the sport like that anymore. Because like after last night, after I seen this, I was very frustrated, and it hurt me. It felt like I lost the fight. That's how I can feel. You can call it silly or whatever, but I'm very passionate about this sport, and I want this sport to do well. But you can't help but think that boxing's doing it to itself. And until they get this right, and until they correct decisions like this, UFC-MMA will always be bigger, and it'll always continue to grow, because they have that excitement, and they have those knockouts, they have all those weight classes with great fighters, and in boxing, in the UFC they also get the fights that they want. In boxing, we still waiting for the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. We can't even get that fight to happen because we got Bob Arum, who doesn't want to make the fight happen, and then you got this joke of Timothy Bradley, claiming, well, I'll give Pacquiao a rematch. I'll give Pacquiao, he can get a rematch. He's been stating this all week. He's been stating this all through the promotion of this fight. I didn't pay it too much attention until I heard that they were announcing the decision last night, when they were announcing the decision of the fight, 113, 115. I was like, oh, wow, this Timothy Bradley was in on this fix the whole time, and I should have been paying attention. But, if you watch this fight, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This fight, like I said, 8-4, and that's me being generous. And Harold Letterman had it. He only gave Bradley the 9th round. And I could see it, but like I said, some of the rounds were close. First round was very close. Second round, I gave it to Pacquiao. Third round, I gave it to Pacquiao. Fourth round, I gave it to Pacquiao. And then, like I said, 9th round, you could give that, because Pacquiao didn't really fight at all in the 9th round. And then, like I said, the 4th round, Pacquiao held him. There was times when they clinched, Pacquiao didn't push him off. Pacquiao could have got him out of there 4th round. And I'm not kidding you. He could have gotten Bradley out of there, and then we wouldn't even be talking about this. We'd be talking about, well, when is Pacquiao Mayweather going to happen? But instead, Pacquiao let off the gas. He let Bradley stand there and throw his weak little jab and throwing his little powder puff girl punches. No disrespect, but it's true. Bradley just doesn't have any power. He's a good muscular size. He's a big guy to be 147 pounds, but he just doesn't have the power, and he was slow, in my opinion. Bradley wasn't that fast, and Pacquiao was just toying with him. You seen Pacquiao smiling during the fight, and you seen Bradley. You could see the look on his face just change midway towards the end of the fight. He just looked like he was just scared, and nervous, and he didn't win that fight. And I don't know if you guys call ESPN, but Teddy talked to Teddy Atlas, and Teddy Atlas was highly upset about this fight too, because he knows this is what pushes, like I said, like he said before, this is what pushes the fan base away. And so there's a lot of unhappy fans with that fight last night, and I hate to say it, but it makes me want, you want to watch the rematch just because that this just wasn't right. But I don't know. It's just a disgrace to the sport, and hopefully one day, maybe years down the road, we can get some kind of jurisdiction in the sport of boxing where stuff like this can be corrected. Because until then, we'll never get our fan base back, and we're just going to continue to push the fans that's already there away, and then new fans won't even want to come. And so the future of boxing is questionable. Boxing will always be here, because it's been here for centuries. But as far as popularity, I can only see it decreasing, because we're not getting the fights we want to see, and then we're screwing people over just to get more money out of the loyal fans. And I feel sorry for anyone who actually paid for that fight last night. Technically I paid, I was at Hooters, but I didn't pay the $43 or $49, however much the fight was. I didn't technically pay that price, but I paid a little bit, because they put it on your bill or whatever. So, but that fight was not close at all, and so I mean, you guys can leave comments or whatever. Maybe you guys felt that Bradley won the 7 out of 12 rounds. But, I mean, be real. Bradley didn't win that fight. I mean, just be honest with yourself and don't be biased towards Bradley also, like I said, don't be biased or anything like that. But like I'm getting into another point here. For the people who are saying, oh, well, now Pacquiao knows how Juan Manuel Marquez felt, shut up. Just shut up. I mean, listen to yourself here. First of all, if you watch the first 2 fights, at all 3 of the fights that him and Juan Manuel Marquez had, they're all like that. They're all were close. They're all tough to call. You know, they're all their fights have been like that. It's just stylistically that it's just always going to be a close fight, like Ali and Norton, Ali Frazier. It's always going to be a close fight just because stylistically that they're handmade for each other. So I mean, you gotta shut up. I mean, be real. I mean, that Juan Manuel Marquez fight, I wouldn't have been upset if Juan Manuel Marquez had won. But Tim Bradley, no, not even close. Like I said, just leave your comments and thanks for watching if you watched.